Oh, no,
I think there's two parts of him. I
Yeah.
think there's a part of him where he sort of is on the spectrum, and then separately, he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like I like the character, but I find him very questionable. The world's most dangerous hobo is back. Hobo with skills. Yeah. So some people say the world's hottest hobo is back too. And as usual, we're talking about Jack Reacher. And as usual,
Reacher.
Reacher.
Every time you call him Jack, he's like, it's just Reacher.
I'm sorry, just Reacher. He don't want you thinking about Tom Cruise and little ass. Because Tom Cruise played that character Jack Reacher one time. I was like, yeah, you
Twice.
reaching all right. You reaching for the cookie jar on the top shelf. Your short ass trying to play the character that's described as almost a mutant, like a freak of nature. He's so big. We're talking about. His name is Jack Reacher, but just call him Reaching. Believe me, you better. He gonna beat your ass. But as usual, trouble finds him. Although he usually starts shit with trouble first.
Well, you know what? Normally he just kind of wanders into trouble. This is the first time he sought out something.
Yeah, people. Well, no, usually he's starting some shit. You know, if it's not directly, he's doing like a side mission and start shit. Because somehow always things are going on around him. Something's going off. There's always a crime, and it just happens to be 10 feet away from Reacher. That's why his name is Reacher, because trouble's always at arm's reach.
I mean, when you're a giant, it's not that hard.
No, it is not that hard. But this time he's recruited to go undercover and investigate a wealthy rug sailor, which is fishy because ain't no multimillionaires out there making money off of rugs. Even these old shitty rugs that we see this dude.
I know. You just want to pull him aside and say, you got to get a different front, man. Nobody's believing this shit.
These old Wayfair rugs.
Selling rugs in 2025, that's insane.
Yeah, these, what's it called? Pier 21 or whatever?
Yeah, Pier 21.
Yeah, Pier 21, some shit you can buy for $5. Ain't nobody living in a mansion.
An estate.
Almost a damn billionaire throwing away cheap ass rugs. No. So everybody's like, this dude's up to something. So they say, Reacher, come help us out, man. But people are like, what? Wait a minute. What? Reacher got recruited? I don't like the Reacher I know, because Reacher don't take orders from anybody. Right. That's why he volunteered to be a hobo. Yeah. He said, I
was in the army long enough taking orders. I ain't doing that no more.
Because apparently the freedom is being homeless. just walking the earth with your big ass. Yes. It is true. Reacher does not take orders from anybody. He is not exactly a team player. However, he decides to go along with this because he has an old score to settle. And it just so happens that the feds are after the same person. And so with them having a mutual interest here, they decide to join forces, hoping that their mutual interest can help each other. This is season 3 of Reacher. It's a highly, highly popular show on Amazon. This one, they approved of a season 4 before this was even released. So that's how confident they are with the character of Reacher in his show on Amazon. However, did they act too soon? Is this season actually worthy of a season 3? Because season 2 was not as well received as season 1. Did they improve, or is it still spiraling? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer right here. Yeah, ain't no rug salesman got that right there. You got to be a billionaire to have that right there. No, ain't nobody selling rugs that you can find at Goodwill.
Living in P. Diddy's house.
Yeah. P. Diddy had freak parties. They got rug parties going on.
I mean, maybe that's how he got it. So P. Diddy's old house is on sale.
Everybody coming out with rug burns.
I have a plan.
We actually saw, or at least you and I did. I don't think you were able to do
I'm not
this.
keeping up with this, so I'm not even trying.
Okay, well, we'll tell you about this here. So, did you watch any of this season?
No.
Okay, because you didn't watch any of those seasons.
Yeah, that's the thing is I'm not going to catch up with 2 seasons and then just to watch this.
Well, sir, sit back and we'll let you know if this is worth catching up with. And we saw all 8 episodes, even though they've only released 3 on Amazon. So we can give you a pretty thorough review of this, of what you might have already seen and what you can expect to come later on. So I'm one of the people that was not crazy about season 2. I thought season 2 was just, they turned into a comic book movie too much for me, and then things happened. They did things with the writing that I hate. Things happen out of luck, or again, all of a sudden your character turns into a superhero out of nowhere to get out of tight situations instead of just writing these characters out with some, I'm not even asking for like the best plot lines or story, because we're dealing with some pulp stuff here.
Yeah.
No, so nobody's asking for anything too deep, but poor writing is poor writing to me. So, and that's, some people like season 2, I didn't that much. So with season 3, how is that? Well, the pretty much literally big selling point of this season, the one that they're trying to get everybody hooked with, is this big son of a bitch right here. Shit. Oliver Richter. They're trying to, they're selling this by saying, all right, you thought that Reacher was big. This dude is twice as big as he is.
Right. Like you call Reacher a mutant. This guy's a mutant.
This guy, no, he was created in a lab somewhere, they said. This dude is, I truly believe that. I don't think he's human.
Right. You're looking at him, you're like, how can he be?
Yeah.
To be that tall and that big, like muscular and that wide?
Yeah. I don't even think, when I say he's not human, I think I think if you pull that skin back, there's a Terminator skeleton under there.
Right?
I think he's a robot. I'm finally starting to believe in conspiracies. This is our first real AI experiment that became sentient and started killing people. Nah, man, you know what? This is a great gimmick, though. If it is a gimmick. I mean, when you look at this guy, seriously, you look at this picture right here. You don't have any idea how, actually you do. That's actually him standing about 10 feet away from those buildings.
Yeah, he's on the ground.
Yeah, he's on the ground. He's tearing up Tokyo right now. No, you look at this, you probably don't get a good idea of how big he is. I mean, this is him in an airplane seat.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, man.
And you think you have it bad.
I know. I'm talking about, man, I can't fly, coach. It's too tight for me. And then I'm looking at him. By the way, he actually says, I have to fly business class also.
Yeah,
he says, because look at this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and he probably has to buy 2 seats in business class.
Yeah. And this is the guy that we talked about, where he is actually the character of Kratos from God of War. This is him dressed up as Kratos, man. Right? Because a lot of people thought, like, well, of course, Kratos is a video game character. No human's that big. Bullshit. That fool is Kratos.
Yeah.
He's actually bigger than Kratos.
Yeah.
I don't think Kratos is that tall, and he doesn't have hair.
He's bigger than a god.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, that is not the highlight of this season. I mean, they pitch it that way because it's a great pitch. But, there's plenty of story to keep us entertained before, of course, the inevitable fight happens between him and Reacher. I mean, you better do that.
Right.
You better put a goddamn King Kong versus Godzilla moment in there.
Yeah, you can't have that in there the whole time. Because they sure do, they wait. They tease it out. And just when you're like, well, are they not going to do it? They're like, what you talking about? Yeah, we're doing it.
Oh, yeah, they got to do it. And I'm going to tell you something. Trust me, this dude is big because Alan Ritchson, who plays Reacher. Now, he's a big dude. I'm not taking that away from him at all. But, they want to make him look like he's 6'6", 6'7", close to 7 foot. He's 6'3", and he's just wide. So they do things to make him look bigger. But shit, I've seen him next to this dude.
Yeah. As much as you might go like, well, I don't know about that. But you see him next to that guy, you're like, oh, my God. That's when you get real perspective on how big that dude is.
Yes. But that's not the highlight of it. I mean, you'll get that moment, but that's not the highlight of it at all. Because I'm going to tell you, man, I was watching the first episode. And the first episode of this had me thinking that a gimmick of this season would be the case. Because, again, I thought, oh, man, look, we 10 minutes in. This writing is terrible. This writing is awful. Nice hook. They have, because they have a good, oh shit, Reacher, how you gonna get out of this one? They had that. Nice try with that, but I'm still not buying it. I was like, all right, you know what? I think I'm going to watch the whole thing, but I'm not going to have nice things to say because I'm already kind of checked out. This is the same shit that I criticized the last season for. And then, after that 10 minutes I was talking about, they hit that oh shit moment where everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
And everything just, and they got me. Like they did something. We can't tell you a whole lot of things here. They told us not to say a whole lot of things. I would just say that they got me good.
Oh yeah.
They
wait, by the end of the first episode.
By the end of the middle of the episode. Mm-hmm. By the end of the middle of the episode, man, I was shaking my head and wagging my finger, talking about Reacher, you crazy. you got me for that one. All right. You got me. Listen, you can accuse this season of being many things and probably not good. And no one will argue with it. Be saying it's basic formulaic stuff. If it's no real deep substance to this. I mean, no one's going to argue with you on that because I mean you'd be right. I'm gonna pass this on to Martin, but just to let you know, it is kind of basic formulaic stuff. The feds who are helping Reacher, they got two of them that are helping him. Actually, three. But they center on two that are really working together, and they are any combo of the Nothing in Common duo, or team up, a pair that you see in any kind of cop buddy film or TV show. Like this actress right here, Sonya Cassidy. She plays Agent Duffy. She's a young, sassy white girl. Not just any white girl, Boston white girl.
Thick Boston accent.
Boston. You know what that... don't know R's exist with her at all. Maybe that first R, but after that, you ain't getting no R's after that. Her partner is the way they describe him, he's a old, quote unquote, old Hispanic guy.
That's how they describe him?
Well, you take the Hispanic part out. But
I'm just saying, he's more middle-aged than old.
Well, I say old because she keeps calling him, hey, old man.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And he says, what you want, little hunky white girl? No, she keeps calling, hey, old man. Hey, old man, what are you doing? Can you keep up, old man? So they got that kind of relationship going on.
Yeah.
They call each other names, but it's, they're all, they're pet names, love names for each other. It's more like a father-daughter relationship they got going on. In that relationship, they even got the kid,
AKA.
Checking all the boxes.
Yeah, they are. Like he's the green rookie agent that on board who doesn't know anything. He's gonna get into trouble.
Yeah, she's constantly having to yell at him.
Yeah, Agent Elliot, played by Daniel David Stewart, man. So, with this, they're hitting all the stereotypes pretty much. And in the show, look, they want you to like root for Reacher all the way. So everything is complete black and white. Like all the bad guys here, they all deserve it. They are all bad people that deserve to be killed. I mean, if they ain't killing somebody, they talking about how, ooh, I'll kill that person good.
Right.
They all got to read off rap sheets where they done all these crimes. The main villain, I'm not going to tell you too much, but he loves to torture people before killing them.
Oh yeah, he's a complete psychopath.
Yeah,
he's sadistic.
He's so bad he'll cut off a kid's ear if he has to, just for fun.
Just for fun. Just to put the period on the end of his sentence.
Yeah, man. Probably the person with the most moral gray here is the rug seller, Zachary Beck, who's played by Anthony Michael Hall, who it does a great job in the show. And I like where you kind of want to root for him, but he's still involved in bad things. That's about as morally gray as it gets, though.
I suppose.
But he's still not that great of a person.
No. Not only is he not that great of a person, I wasn't crazy about Anthony Michael Hall in this. There was just something about the character. I was just kind of like, you're too in the middle and not really about, or you seem to kind of flip-flop. And just even the actor himself, I'm like, I don't know about your performance here.
I liked his performance. I like Anthony Michael Hall. I had to call bullshit on something. I want y'all to look at this man right here. He says, hey, we got to get this done because I'm having my 50th birthday party this weekend. I'm like, 50th what?
Yeah, I was like, oh, is this your second 50th birthday party?
Yeah, you ain't no 49 years old.
Yeah, because I was like, man, if you 49, that is rough.
Boy,
you had some hard living.
Man, rug selling is a hard business. Yeah. Age. I was like, get out of here with this, man. Nobody's buying this.
It's a typo, maybe?
I think it's working because it fully does embrace all those things that normally you criticize something for. But I'll talk about that more. I'm getting the feeling you don't like this episode, or this season rather, as much as I did.
Really?
I don't know.
I was telling you to watch it.
Oh, that was you. Okay. Okay.
Now, keep in mind that I didn't hate the second season. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought it was a drop off from the first season. Mm-hmm. But with the first season, you're introducing so much, you're building the world. And I was like, and it had just so much personality and so much surprise. Second season was a departure, especially bringing in the team. And it was more comic booky. I would grant you that. But this whole series from the novels, as you said, as you perfectly pointed out, it's pulp. Yeah. So the idea of having, these stark black and white villains, people refer to stuff like Reacher as dad cinema and these kind of action movies. And they had at a time they either kind of gone away, or when they come back, it's with Jason Statham and they're kind of silly.
Yeah.
And this one manages to have the fantastical elements without being silly, and it brings you in. Plus, with Reacher, like from the first season, you just fall in love with him and you're like, man, what's he going to do next? I will say, I feel like with this season, even though it's there the whole time, this one, it's more pointed to the fact, and it gets called out, that he's a psychopath.
Yes. Yeah, he's down. I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to tell you, he reminds me of somebody, because I've always said that Reacher is autistic.
Yes.
He's autistic, and he's a sociopath.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with this dude.
There's something wrong with him. He doesn't see it. And people kind of call it out, but it's like, well, he's a sociopath working for me, doing what I want him to do. So,
and he'll do all the dirty stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when they're like, you do this all the time? Yeah. Oh, I don't have a comeback.
Yeah, of course I do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. He's like, you do this, and he's like, yeah. What about it?
What about it? Oh, carry on.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm no judgment from me.
No, but you know what? See, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But like I was telling you, I thought this season was more grounded than the last season.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because it's not all over the place. It's really staying on one case.
Yeah, and so when I was talking about this being unapologetic, and you hit it, because you talk about dad cinema. There was an article that said this is dad cinema, and they hit it right on the head, because it is unapologetically a man's man show. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of show that your daddy or your granddaddy used to watch back, them old crazy ass cop shows and westerns.
Or stuff with Charles Bronson.
Yeah. Dudes solving problems by either duking it out or shooting somebody, proving that they're more of a man than you. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
Sometimes mission be damned. Who got the bigger dick right now? Who can fight the best? Who can beat up who?
Yeah.
And it's not just enough to prove that you are a bigger, better man than that person. If you are the better man, then that other person is a pussy.
How much you bench?
Don't know.
You versus me. Let's go.
No thanks.
Because you're a pussy.
Okay.
You're a pussy. That's the thing about it. You are not just less of a man. You a bitch and you a pussy.
It's a great delivery.
Yeah.
It was so childish. He ain't even got to come back. Right. It is so manly that even the women have dicks, metaphorically. They all act like dudes. Uh-huh. They cuss like dudes. They drink like dudes. One woman, she watched a man bleed to death. And as she watched him, She opened up her legs wide so that dude could see that metaphorical dick as he died. And she ate some Fruit Loops while her invisible dick was hanging out. She was, you know, this dude was bleeding and she got up on a table, poured herself some cereal and opened her legs up. And she had pants on her, but she could,
because that's not how I was imagining.
Okay. Oh, that would have been awesome if she didn't know. She pulled them off and just sat there and get a good look.
Open skirt, eating cereal.
Hey, if you don't bleed out, you can have this.
He's holding on real long, picking up every towel and cloth that he
stop the bleeding.
Yeah, but she had her legs open wide and got Fruit Loops with pants on. She was business casual. But yeah, man. Thing is, though, again, that's not for everybody, and that's fine. And a lot of people would normally criticize something like that today. But man, you know what? It's each episode is just woven so well.
Yeah.
You know, it's gradually, as long as your storytelling is good, you can take the most basic of plot lines or stories or formulas. You can take those, man. Not everything has to be deep. Not everything has to be, you know, something of substance, if that's what you want to call it. Entertaining is fine. And that's why those old shows used to work so well, those old movies, because they were just entertaining. Each episode has, you know, is gradually revealing more details. It has a lot of turns. Does what a show should do. Ends in great cliffhangers. It keeps you hooked and entertained, you know, the whole way through. And it's not just, you know, like I said, it's not just, you know, it's like you're watching something and being ironically entertained because it's bad.
Right.
Or this is nostalgia. No, great performances here.
Yeah. And it seems usually a show or a movie like this would be so over the top. It's like it's winking at you.
Yeah.
And this doesn't do that.
No.
I mean, it's not taking itself so seriously because there's plenty of humorous moments in it, but it is like, we respect you.
Yeah. No, it's, like I said, it's not, you know, it's taking itself as seriously as it needs to be. It does. Hey, listen, it doesn't no pun intended. It doesn't overreach.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you know, it realizes exactly what it is, but it's not trying to make fun of itself. It's not, it's competently done.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nice, fun entertainment. And like I said, mainly because while the story might not be anything surprisingly new or anything like that, your characters are well written. Your characters are fun. Your characters have great chemistry and interactions with each other. Reacher continues to be a fun character. You know, he's a nice and dangerous mix of smarts and, I would say strength, but super strength in this case.
Yeah.
You know, he's a detective that punches first and looks for clues later.
But he's also kind of a Sherlock Holmes, the way he's able to pick up on things.
No, he's a savant of sorts. Yeah. That's why I say something's wrong with this character, man.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Yeah. You know, when he does get into a fight, I love his strategy. You know, it's always to get into the other guy's head first. And get them emotional, make them angry, you know, or confused or scared, you know, and then he can go and start beating them up. Although, that's the cool thing about having this dude, because he was trying to do that with this dude. Forgot the Paulie.
Oh yeah, Paulie.
It's Kratos' name.
Yeah.
Paulie, the big ass henchman. Reacher usually has a way of messing with people before he starts to beat them up. And with Paulie, I was like, you better leave that alone, man. I mean, it was kind of funny what he did, but I was just kind of like, you know,
I know you're gonna pay for that later.
Yeah, you might not want. Don't piss this dude off.
Bench press proves nothing. If you really want to know who's stronger, Bavarian arm wrestling.
Weaker than I fought.
Yeah, and dumber than I thought. Knocked his ass out. That bitch.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
You're like, oh, my hand slipped, sorry.
And then I was laughing my ass off, and then...
Sorry. Hand slipped.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit. That's when I ran out the room. Oh. I was just playing, man. Come on. Hey, Richard, you know, you bad dude, but this. They do a good job at setting up Paulie as a formidable villain and challenge for him to go up against.
Well, all through the first 2 seasons and most of this, we know we come into a situation where Reacher is in a confrontation, and Reacher's gonna Reacher. You ain't gonna beat him. He's gonna beat you, punch you, probably embarrass you. Not prepared for him to get his clock cleaned, and it shook him. You can see he's kind of scared after that.
Ooh, I mean, we ain't giving away nothing. You can see it.
You can see it in the trailer. I wouldn't have said anything if it wasn't in the trailer.
No, you can see it right in the trailer.
He was like, that has never happened before.
He hit the ground holding his chin like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Right. Like he rethought his life while he was laying down there.
Maybe I'm not as tough as I thought I was. He was spitting blood out for the next hour. He was rethinking his life. Like, that's never happened before.
What is that? Is that blood? Oh my God. No.
Before you hit the ground, you would think like that was a mistake.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? Oh, Reacher is metal match. See, stuff like that is fun to watch. Manly man stuff like that is cool. And as you watch it, I will say, as it continues, it continues to get more far-fetched. Also, Reacher uses less of his smarts, and so does the show. It turns in by the time you get to the end of this, it is that superhero show that all these series turn into, or all these seasons have turned into. By the time that we get to the big inevitable fight between this Dutch giant man and Reacher, by the time we're leading up to that, it's already just pure action and superhero stuff. It's mostly shootout, nameless bodies, henchmen everywhere. They've just been running out. We don't even know where these guys came from. They just come out of closets and more fist fights. But again, that's the only disappointing thing I had with it. It's like, man, this is way smarter than last season, I thought. And this was going to some really good places. I'm not really complaining because even at the end, it's still fun. It's just not as smart as it started out.
How would you say the production, like the camera work for like all these action scenes? Because if it's very action focused, is it well shot and well edited? Because the editing is important in a fight scene.
Well, that big fight between Reacher and Paulie, they do some cool camera work with that. Okay. Because as they're hitting each other, they are following the punches, in certain places. They're going there. The camera's dancing around them as they're fighting. So they, at least for that fight, they know that's what people want to see, and they put some real production in that. I will say this though. There are times that I was watching it, and I was like, this is, it looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. But there are moments where I say, this is just flat. It's a TV show. It has TV show lighting and whatnot. They were outside at one part, and I was just like, this is just, there's no dimension to this. It looks like a TV show.
I was going to say the color correction and lighting looked pretty good in the trailer.
Yeah, and no, but like, I'm not trying to make it look bad. I'm just saying there are moments where it looks great. Look at that. Lighting's great there. But most of the time, it looks like a TV show, and that's because it is a TV show.
Yeah.
Who cares,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not here looking for deep art, cinematography, and all that kind of stuff. If it's competently made and you've entertained me with the story, I'm good. Man, coming to what you said, Martin, I do like that they made Reacher very questionable in this episode. Reacher is autistic, man. We've established that. He's also a lunatic. This man right here, he's a sociopath, and he has no social skills other than murdering and punching people. Like he has that. When I say he's autistic, and I'm not trying to talk bad about autistic, but I don't know if they meant for this to happen or not. And we used to joke, but this season he really does play this like a person with autism.
Well, there's also, even from the beginning, there's moments when he's there and nobody's talking to him, and you look at the expressions on his face, and you're like, yeah, he kind of drifts off into space, or the way he reacts to people is just kind of slow or a little bit odd. I mean, he says funny things. Yeah. Yeah, he's competent in his speech, even very clever. But there's just moments when, he just kind of turns into a robot.
Yeah.
Like him just walking and nobody talking to him. You're like, what is going on over
Yeah.
there?
You know, the thing that makes me say he's autistic is because he hardly has any expression on his face when he talks to people, and he hardly smiles, and he's brutally blunt with people.
Yes.
Even people that he likes.
Uh-huh.
He told someone that he was trying to help, and he thought that they were bonding. He told that person, he was like, I like you, but I don't like you that much.
Yeah, right.
You know, the people that he does like, he forms a deep attachment to. So, you know, if this person owes you money, he's ready to kill that person.
Yeah.
You know, he's ready to do, you know.
Like he sees it as, well, I killed somebody, but they were bad. So what's the big deal? And you're like, you still killed a person though.
And he's very cold about, like, I think I say sociopath. He might be a psychopath because he really doesn't understand. He's thinking because of what I'm doing here, because I'm doing it to bad people, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like he'll look at somebody and he'll say, you know what, you better hope I have another plan besides killing you. And you think he's joking. And if he doesn't have a plan for that person is dead.
Yep.
And it's like, man, I was actually kind of disturbed by some of those parts.
Yeah. No, if killing you helps meet his objective, you're gonna die.
Yeah, and if you on the wrong side, no matter what, you don't know what you did, but you know if you on the wrong side, he said that's enough for me.
Right.
Also, he just does weird shit. And in the show, you see what I'm talking about. Like you think we're up here like reading into it too much.
No.
He just stops and does weird shit and just blanks out, even when he's doing his job. You know the clerk is like, what the f is he doing over there?
And like he's not even blinking. I don't know. Yeah. The clerk would be freaking out. You'd be like 911.
Yeah. I would try to get his attention, but he might snap on my ass.
Right?
You know? Yeah, he's just sitting up there holding his car, looking at the clock. You mean no, that's not normal.
No, I get it. He's trying to run down the clock. But you think you'd do something.
You not be so suspicious, you know?
Yeah, you'd look around the store, go through the candy aisle.
Go to the bathroom or something. Yeah, he's just standing there. He does weird things, man. I think this season has actually made him, and I like this. I think they've tried to explain all the death that he does because they don't want to make it seem like this is normal.
Yes.
They want to make it seem like only a person with a mental problem can do this.
Because these shows have been very accurate to the books, except that's been the big improvement. At least Alan Richardson's portrayal, his performance, where showing him as an autistic person or possibly autistic person, it explains a lot. Where you're not just going like, well, what the hell? He just did all that. You're like, oh yeah, I totally get him doing that because this is how he is.
And keep in mind, we're not saying autistic people are murderers or anything.
No,
I think there's two parts of him. I think there's a part of him where he sort of is on the spectrum, and then separately, he's a psychopath. Yeah, he's like I like the character, but I find him very questionable. You know, I don't like him as I don't like him as much as I thought I did. And believe it or not, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Because I now that I can justify his actions by knowing that he's kind of crazy, you know, it's like, okay, that makes sense. I'm glad they're not trying to justify his actions by saying, oh, he's just beating up the bad guys. No, there's something wrong with him.
Well, yeah, and it's also good that they got characters, especially, you know, like Duffy and I forgot her partner's name, who was just like, man, what is with this guy? And then her partner's just like, he's out there killing people. I ain't signed on for this.
Yeah. I think that this season is much better than last season. And while no one can argue, if you want to call this show, if you want to call it shallow, you can. But you can also call it old-fashioned, hard-boiled entertainment. And like I said, I don't need something to make me think deep all the time.
No.
Sometimes I just want to sit back and enjoy myself. And I had a lot of fun
that's the
with this.
thing, is that something can be shallow and just, like you say, pulpy. But if it's done well, it's very enjoyable. It's just, you know, it's not a lazy show. And that's one of the reasons I enjoy it.
I'm interested to see how this is gonna go. Because I think there's like a backlash to start against it. Because Reacher was thought to be like a MAGA hero, I think, at one time. Oh. Because he's an action hero. Yeah. You know, there's all kind of guns and stuff involved with him. Yeah. And but Alan Richardson came out and said, I'm anti-Trump. Matt Gaetz is somebody he went to school with, I think high school or something. Oh. He's like, that guy's a Yeah.
Well, I know he also came out and said he didn't like the second season.
Oh, he didn't. But you know what? Like, and that's Matt Gaetz right there.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna say, like, I want to punch that guy. He says, I would get into politics just to go against him and people like him. So he's kind of got Reacher in him in a way. But he's, there's this whole anti thing going on with this. Also, I hope that they don't start, getting into what Marvel and Star Wars did, where they're trying to like spread this too thin with the Reacher universe. They already have a spinoff happening.
Do they?
Yeah, with
Is it Neely?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Neely.
yeah, because she's been in so many of the. She's been in all of them. It does feel like they're trying to spin her off.
She's getting a spinoff.
Okay,
which she's a cool character.
Yeah, she is a cool character.
I like that character a lot. She's one of the characters with a metaphorical big dick.
Yeah.
But no, I like that. But I just hope they don't start spreading it too thin. But look, I look forward to season 4. A lot of fun, man. I give this a high matinee.
Same.
Yeah. Because it's not that deep, and it just does kind of start out very smart, and it gets dumb as it goes along. It's fun dumb, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely a dip in quality for when it first started.
Well, I know, my binging shows is watching 2, and then if I watch a third one, I'm going to be like, well, I'm probably not paying as good of attention as I was before. But with this one, there were several nights where I was like, I'm going to go to bed after this, and then something would happen, I'd be like, oh shit, okay, I got to watch this next one.
I was hooked.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop watching, man.
So better than the second season, you think?
Definitely. Yeah, they improved a lot on the second season. And even though I'm complaining about it, getting dumber or whatever near the end, it's still a good balance of that kind of action and some of the smarter written parts of the show. The dude is, I think I described him like this before. He's Batman without the costume.
Yeah, it's a lot of that.
Autistic Batman.
Yeah. Batman.